Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a part 2 for the Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship for Studying Abroad. To begin, I just wanted to review a little bit on the selection criteria. You can find this webpage by going to the gilmanscholarship.org, going to the Applicants tab, and selecting Selection Criteria. So for the award amount, again, you can receive up to $5,000 US. Additionally, with the option to get the Critical Need Language Award if you're studying one of those. I went over them in the first video. You can receive up to $3,000 for that, and the STEM Supplemental Award of up to $1,000. So if you qualify for any of these, if you have a language that's critical need or you're a STEM major, please do apply. You can get $9,000 in total from this scholarship. You will need to show that you have financial need and how much your study abroad expenses cost. You'll have a study abroad advisor and financial aid advisor who will submit and approve your cost. So for me, I met with my school's financial advisor. We sat down and had a couple in-person meetings. I made a Google spreadsheet with all the cost of my school, from tuition, books, commuting if you live with a host family, dorm fees, security fees like security deposits, or if you damage your room or anything like that. All the fees that I could possibly have for studying abroad, I listed out and put into a giant Google Sheets document and then brought that to our meeting so I could detail what each cost was for. Again, you'll also want to include things like airfare, meals, food, things like that. So just make sure you keep in mind all of the costs that you're going to have and necessities. Eventually you'll need bathroom supplies. If you're like me, I wear contacts. I'm almost out of my last bottle of contact solution, and it is November, the end of November. I brought 2 with me, so I'll need to buy some of that. Shampoo, conditioner, body soap, sunscreen. So just make sure anything your daily needs, make sure you allot some for as well. So for the impact of program and destination on the student's academic and career trajectory, the Benjamin A. Gilman Scholarship wants to make sure that you are pursuing valuable experiences abroad. They want to see that you can gain something from studying abroad. So for me personally, I use the connection of going to Japan, learning Japanese, tying that into being a future educator in American classrooms, how I was going to bring Japanese instructional methods back to America and implement them in our classrooms, because as we know, Japan in testing scores and in subject proficiency tends to do a lot better than the US, so bringing new innovative methods that I've done and worked with, practiced, seen, visualized through volunteer experience with local middle schools and high schools. And then additionally, I talked about wanting to teach abroad in Japan for a year with the JET program, the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. So all of mine have official or true, genuine reasons on why I could really use the money, how it's beneficial for me, beneficial even for the US, such as innovative teaching methods, and even beneficial for teaching abroad for a year. They really like to see that you've planned out your career goals and that this will be useful. So just know that a successful Gilman applicant will describe how a specific program and destination will enable the applicant to reach their career goals and academic goals. So make sure you're really thorough in your essay describing how you're going to reach those academic and career goals. Be sure to list any challenges maybe you've overcome and how you're going to overcome challenges while you study abroad as well. So then we have community impact abroad and upon students' returns home. So upon return to the U.S., Gilman Scholars have the opportunity to inspire the next wave of students to study abroad. This is done through our follow-on service project. I did talk a little bit about the follow-on service project in the previous video as well, but this is something you can do to really rep the Gilman, show the Gilman to a large audience. So one way that's popular, I'd say, or how I first heard about the Gilman Scholarship was through YouTube. And again, I like this method because my university's campus is very, very small, so YouTube is able to allow me to reach a larger audience. You can do anything though. You could work in a classroom, you could present to your local high school when you get back, you could present to your college a couple times, you could do virtual meetings once a month while you study abroad. You could do a blog, you can make artwork, anything you want. They really want to see that it's creative and it's going to give back to the Gilman Scholarship and increase awareness of the Gilman Scholarship and that it's possible for low-income students, first-generation students, underrepresented students to study abroad. Academic preparedness is really something they do want to see in your application, so even if you have had some bad grades or maybe a C, a D, a B, whatever to you is unsatisfactory, make sure that in your essay you write about why this happened, what was challenging for you, and how you're going to make sure you overcome these challenges in the future and they don't happen again. They do want you to maintain a good GPA while you're abroad. So a competitive applicant must demonstrate the academic preparedness to gain benefit from a study abroad or international internship program. They should discuss any significant challenges they have faced in their academic career and discuss how they'll be academically successful in their abroad program. This sentence is entirely important. Even if you've had no significant challenges, you need to make sure you show them how you will be successful abroad. There's no minimum GPA required for the Gilman program. So again, if you can display to them that you're prepared, you're ready, you're going to work hard, and how you're going to overcome these challenges, you'll have a good chance. For diversity of background and experience, the U.S. Department of State's Gilman program seeks participation by the broadest group of American undergraduate students with financial need who will benefit from the knowledge, skills, and experiences they acquire when studying abroad. By supporting students who have high financial need, the program has been successful in supporting students who have been historically underrepresented in education abroad. Students' knowledge, skills, and personal experiences are considered in the context of the overall impact the proposed abroad program will have on them, and how they'll overcome any anticipated challenges during their program and their ability to represent the U.S. and Gilman program while they're abroad. So again, another factor I would say is extremely important to mention in your essay. How are you going to overcome any challenges? What about homesickness? When have you been stressed at school, and how have you balanced all your work and sport, your work and a sport and a part-time job, your work and a part-time job, anything? How have you balanced your challenges and stayed prepared in the US? And how can you do it abroad? And then also, a key component for the Gilman Scholarship is being able to represent the United States and the Gilman program. So, again, like we've mentioned or talked about before, the Gilman really does want you to represent them, the U.S., the Gilman program, abroad. So, make sure you find a way to share your culture, to share a little bit about the U.S., and to represent the U.S. in a positive light abroad. So for me, I talked about doing volunteer days where I share U.S. culture, chat with students to share U.S. culture, go to the local community center and present about the U.S. or volunteer to teach English for anyone wanting, free of charge. I've done some of this work with high school and middle school students so far, and I'm hoping to get a bit more active with the local citizens here in Hirakata. Also, please do know that if you have not studied abroad before, preference are given to those who haven't and to veterans who served in any of the U.S. Armed Forces. So some of the non-typical students who study abroad are first-generation students, students in STEM fields, racial and ethnic minority students, students with disabilities, students attending minority-serving institutions and community colleges, and students from U.S. states and institutions with lower study abroad participation, and more. So don't be deterred if you are in community college and you want to study abroad. You are eligible if you are low income and a U.S. citizen. So again, for the critical need language, you do need to be studying one of the critical need languages that the U.S. Department of State determines. For me, I'm studying Japanese, which is on the list. So if you're studying Japanese, do be sure to apply for this scholarship. If you aren't, please do take a look at my previous video where I went over what languages qualify. So the U.S. Department of State is dedicated to supporting students who are studying critical need language. They're deemed important to national security and diplomacy. Again, you can see how this ties into really giving back to the U.S. and helping the U.S. with this scholarship. So if you're studying something that's a critical need language that can be helpful and beneficial to diplomacy and national security in the U.S., you can talk about this in your essay. Applicants are considered for this category if, while abroad, they are taking a course taught in a critical need language, studying a critical need language, or both. So for me, I'm studying Japanese, an intensive course 3 days a week for an hour and a half each day. But my other classes are taught in English. So if you're doing just classes taught in a critical need language, that qualifies. If you're just studying a critical need language, that qualifies. Or if you're doing both, that will qualify. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. If they're studying in a country in which the language is not predominantly spoken, this is possible, but you do need to explain the benefits, resources, and reason for choosing their destination. So maybe you're studying Japanese, but you're doing it in China or the Philippines. Make sure you really explain the benefits, resources, and reasoning. A successful applicant should demonstrate a strong motivation to achieve proficiency in their language. And to do this, what I did again was tie in with those future goals I mentioned earlier: teaching abroad, working abroad, bringing back instructional methods for the U.S. classrooms and instructional fields. So make sure you can tie into how this language will not only help you, help the U.S. through national security and diplomacy, and into your future personal, academic, and career goals. Now, if you are a STEM major, this is applicable for you. I'm majoring in history and also education, so I unfortunately am not a STEM field, but I do want to go ahead and give you as much information on this as I can. So, in support of the CHIPS and Science Act of 2022, the U.S. Department of State is dedicated to enabling more American students to conduct STEM-focused research while studying and interning abroad. This supplemental award is one component of the U.S. government's broader goal to create a STEM ecosystem that looks like and benefits all of America. A successful applicant should demonstrate a strong motivation to their STEM field or fields, and how this research experience extends beyond their time abroad into their future academic and career goals. So you probably noticed by now this recurring theme of your future academic and career goals, so really be sure to go over these in your essays. If you're interested in how much financial need you could receive, or you need help finding out the cost for your study abroad program, I have a really helpful tab here. It's known as the Gilman Advisor Directory. If you want to find this, you can simply go to your search bar, type in Gilman Advisor Directory, and it will come up right away. All you need to do to find your financial aid advisor for this scholarship is first select your state of your university. So if you live in a different state than you attend school, make sure you take that into account. So I'm studying in Virginia, and then my institution is Hollins. So let's get down to the H's. Okay, so almost there. Here we are, Hollins. So I've selected the state that my university is in, not the state that I live in, and the the school that I attend. So we'll hit search. And then right away, I can see exactly who my financial aid advisor is and who my study abroad advisor is. So if you don't know who these people are at your institution, they have this button that you can click. Their email will pop up and you can email them right away. And hopefully this can help you with scheduling a meeting. It's that simple. Larger schools will have quite a few financial aid advisors and study abroad advisors. We won't have just 2, so don't worry about that. My school is just a bit small. So again, make sure to go to the advisor directory to find who you're looking for. If any of you guys are from Hollins University, you'll be looking for Melissa Hawley. She's the financial aid advisor. She's easily reachable by phone or by email, or again, you can go in person. And Dr. Ramona Kirsch is our study abroad advisor. Again, easily reachable by phone, email, or going in person. I've never had any issue contacting either of them. If I call them and miss them, they have always called me back, emailed me back, or contacted me in some way. If for some reason you can't get a hold of the person you're looking for, no matter what college you go to, I strongly recommend going in person. Sometimes the semester just gets really busy, our advisors get busy, we get busy, and going in person just to swing by for a quick chat, a quick question, or maybe to just simply remind them that you emailed maybe 2 weeks ago and you are really looking into applying for the Gilman Scholarship. So don't be afraid to ask in person. I just also wanted to review with you on the deadlines and timelines for the Gilman Scholarship. So it is also important to remember that the deadlines are all in the Pacific time zone. My college is in Virginia, which is in the EST or Eastern Standard Time Zone, so make sure you take that into account. The October 2023 deadline has already passed, and we're going to take a look at March 2024 deadline. The March 2024 deadline, applications will open in mid-January. So if you are looking to study abroad and get this scholarship for anything 2024 through 2025, this is going to open in mid-January of 2024. And you can qualify for this scholarship if your study abroad starts between May 1st of 2024 to April 30th, 2025. If you came before this, unfortunately, you would have been in the October 2023 deadline. And if you come after this, if you're studying abroad in past April 30th, 2025, or in 2026, you'll need to wait till the next scholarship round. So, again, you will qualify if you hear one of these study abroad programs times or cycles, and they are what you are studying abroad for. So just take a quick listen or a quick read. Maymester 2024, Summer 2024, Fall 2024, Academic Year 2024 through 2025, and Spring 2025 for both programs or internships. So again, any of these, Maymester 24, Summer 24, Fall 24, Academic Year 24 through 25, and Spring 25, you can apply for the March 2024 deadline. The application will be due, and I highly suggest you screenshot this, write it down, put a note on your computer, is Thursday, March 7th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So not that far away. I mean, it is far, but when you think about it, for all the work you're going to need to do in applying, it's not that far. Your advisor will then have a week afterwards to certify this, your study abroad advisor. Their deadline is Thursday, March 14th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So make sure you do take your time zones into account. If you're chosen to receive this scholarship, you'll hear back in May of 2024. So it'll be about 2 months for you before you hear back, so just be patient. Again, and if you're not selected for the March 2024 deadline, it's okay. If you qualify for any of the study abroad cycles in the next scholarship, you can reapply. You can continue to reapply as long as you want until you either no longer meet the eligibility requirements or your program or internship does not meet the start dates of that cycle. So again, another quick place I'd recommend taking a screenshot of, pausing, writing down, digital notes, whatever your vibe is. Applications are going to open mid-January 2024. Your deadline is March 7th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. PT. Your advisor certification deadline is March 14th, 2024, and results come out May 2024. Eligible programs are in-person programs that start between May 1st, 2024 to April 30th, 2025. And again, your terms are Summer 2024, Fall 24, Academic Year 24 through 25, and Spring 25. The application is also fully digital. You'll create an account on their portal website, and you'll submit everything through there. One note for the essays, all the essays will ask you to do single space, not double space. So make sure you pay attention to that, and also check and have no spelling or grammatical errors. A little bit more about the application process. Once it opens, afterwards and the deadline, you'll submit. Your study abroad and financial aid advisors will certify and also submit their end of the application. The Gilman program will screen eligibility of the submitted applications. Selection panelists will recommend eligible applications The U.S. Department of State will review and approve recommended application, and then the Gilman program will send award notification to all applicants. So, one last thing I wanted to talk about with you is this page, the resources page. If you want to find this resource page, go to gilmanscholarship.org and click on resources. So, the resource page is wonderful. It can help you with your departure from the U.S. when it's that time, and it also has resources for students with disabilities. So, if you're interested in taking a look, there is the U.S. Department of State for Studying Abroad giving information on the country you want to go to. You can find some information here to put into your essay. Students Abroad, Travel Advisories, Smart Travelers Enrollment Program, links to U.S. embassies abroad, applying for your passport, and emergencies and crisis. So make sure you do take a look at this. You can find information on the country you're going to, students who have studied abroad, any travel warnings or issues in your country that you may want to mention in your essay if there are any. Smart Travelers Enrollment Program, which will be required if you are accepted as a Gilman Scholar. This one is also really important, links to U.S. embassies abroad. You may want to go ahead and print out the contact information of the embassy, the U.S. embassy in the country you're studying at. If you don't have a passport, this is really great on how to apply for your passport. You will need to submit your passport to the Gilman eventually. I can't remember if it's before you're accepted or afterwards. I think it's after you're accepted. So do keep in mind you will need a passport to go abroad. It would be helpful to start looking into that as soon as possible because it can take a couple months for the passport to come in. And emergencies and if you have a crisis. If you're a student with a disability, I just want to make sure that you're able to see these resources that are here for you. Please do use them. Take advantage of them. So first we have Mobility International USA. It empowers people with disabilities around the world to achieve their human rights through international exchange and international development. And then we also have the National Clearinghouse on Disability and Exchange. It's a comprehensive one-stop resource for people with disabilities interested in study, work, intern, volunteer, research, or teaching abroad programs. So please do take a look at those. If you're interested in studying abroad, read a little bit about your country, read about any travel advisories that might be happening, start thinking about your passport, anything you need to do for that, and do take a look at where your U.S. embassy is. This is going to be it for this video. We'll talk a little bit more about some other things in the next part, but I wanted to keep this video a bit shorter than the first one. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me by either my email linked in my profile or leave a comment on the video. I think it's easier if you leave a comment. I'll see it right away, but I will try to email you back as soon as possible. If you have any questions about the essay, please also let me know and I'll do my best to answer. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon for more information on studying abroad. Bye!